Good evening, everybody. Welcome one, welcome all to your Wednesday night MRS entertainment. We are here under the lights for round 8 of season 9. And if you're watching, yes, it does say Abu Dhabi. Yes, that means we're in the desert. And yes, it is raining. I'm a bit confused, I'm not going to lie. I think everyone else is probably going to be just as confused as well. And one man who I'm pretty sure right now is rather pleased he is in the commentary box joining me once again and not on track right now. Is one of the McLaren boys who's joined me this evening. It is it's Trem. Good evening. Yeah, might be. Monster's already in YouTube going, are we in the Twilight Zone? What the hell? Hey, what? I've never, I didn't think that, I think Jack's done this on purpose. He must have done. I've never seen that before. Well, that's true, yeah. We've got a guy I've not seen before this season. Oh, and someone who's already retired from the session. It's Hybrid Plays, and I've not seen him before. Maybe new to the league, I think. Monster said he couldn't hear you, actually. He can't actually hear you. Again. It must be another setting, mate. I'm not sure where. In party or broadcast. If you put it into broadcast, it might be in there. But while Trem sorts that, we've got, again, going back to the crossplay. We tried it first time out last week and seemed to work okay. No major glitches, luckily. So we have got the man in the pits, so there's no point looking at him. GTR CL Craig, welcome. Yeah, GTR, that's, you know, mate, you're going to be called a Vauxhall Nova. That's as best as you're getting. Unless you win, then I might consider it. Vexman's here. Ah, look at that. We've got the Hunter again, but unfortunately Bugs Bunny isn't with us. Borden as well. The bow and arrow. Well, Borden will do. I haven't got anything for you yet in terms of nicknames, but welcome. Unfortunately, retired in the pits. Let's have a look at Nigella Lawson. He is out. He's the first one on track. We're going to go on board while Trem's trying to play with his settings and just see what this track looks like with in the wet conditions, because yeah, well, Trem did say he's very, very lucky that he's with him, but he did say that. I know you didn't hear him, unfortunately, but hopefully we'll soon. Yeah, this is just he said it is a tricky track at times, and he's out dead right. For those who didn't hear that, this track rubbers in. It takes a long time for this track to get better throughout the session, and it is one of those that if you are the last one on track, you have got the better conditions by a country mile. So this is going to be an interesting one. See how the track plays out. A lot of slipping and sliding. How are you getting numbered? Yeah, we'll see. We've got 5 of you watching. Good evening, one and all. Don't forget, hit the like button as well that you're watching. Join us in the chat when you can and not on a lap. That'll be fantastic. And also, if you can hear Trem, he was talking. Yeah, that'll be great. Just let us know. That'll be awesome. Chef's got a 39-1. Yeah, he must. I wonder if it's something to do with the party. I don't know why. I'm not sure. We'll try it and see how it goes. Fingers crossed. I know we've got Monster on track as well. Let's have a look how it plays on a lap. There's a bit of a line forming at the moment, which is a bit. It's just the whole thing's so strange. Mike Taylor. Good lap from him. Of course, realistic performance. Dom, really good lap from the other Thomas. A 36. Well, the lap times are coming in thick and fast at the minute. Where's Jack? He's coming in across the line very, very soon. He's invalidated though, so we'll skip past him. What about his teammate? Where is his teammate? Coming into turn 1. Monster, where's Monster on lap? End of the first sector. Well, middle sector, I should say. I know Thomas was on a lap, Trem, so I don't know, he hasn't said anything yet. Anybody else who is watching, please do let us know. But yeah, tricky conditions this evening for everybody. I tell you what, Trent, try this. Go on to the video and try and read back a little bit and see if anything comes through when you have been talking. It might help, just because I know everybody is on track trying to get the laps in at this moment in time, so it might help for you, buddy. Yeah, it does, and to be fair, it's not the first time I do it anyway, so I seem to have made a... Well, I seem to have done quite well for the last few years with that one, so yeah, we'll try that. So let's have a look through. We've got Vexman on a lap. Monster, how is he getting on? Unfortunately, invalidated. Thomas has now gone even quicker on his second lap, and that's the thing with the intermediate tyres. We've seen this a few times. Grimmo's in a 36.5 in a second off the pace. But that's it. You do a nice cool down lap that Grimmo's going to do at the minute. Use quite a bit of his battery, but he's going to want that out as Liquid Gas' teammate's gone a little bit quicker. But you can normally do a few laps on these. You normally do 4 to 5 laps on instead of intermediate tyres. We actually had this in my other league the night in Singapore, where people were doing lap times on the wet tyres. They're also crossover onto the inters, and it was a very, very interesting session. So yeah, we'll see what happens tonight. But definitely intermediate tyres, but I wonder if there'll ever be a crossover. We don't know any of the weather forecasts so far on the front wing of Harry players going through the middle sector, and the very tight, twisty chicane, very tough. But not a lot of his battery left as well, but he's coming up to the final sector where it's not as important. Wow, big drift! Around the back, goes extremely wide, manages to get away with it. A lot of drivers, only 2 in the pits at the minute. Thomas has gone a little quicker. Sorry, Blood Diamond, his teammate, into second, beats Jack by half a tenth. Liquid players really pushing on that. Alpine complaining and squirming around. And he's bailed on his lap time. I thought that would be quite a good lap, to be fair, but hey-ho. Let's have a look. So, the Nova, the Vauxhall Nova, currently in 8th, ahead of his teammate on his debut in MRS. Sounds good, mate. Sounds good. Like I say, anyone in the pits that does hear Trem, that'll be fantastic. What's more, so how's he getting on? Difficult opening bit of the qualifying, just finding his feet, finding the grip. It's going to be interesting as well. Are people going to be set up for dry race and really end up struggling, or are they going to try and compromise a little bit, get that track position? Plenty of chances to overtake round here, number of DRS points as well, which we'll come to in a moment. And Monster feeding his way through the final sector underneath the hotel. And last 2 corners for the man in the Ferrari. Does he keep it nice and within the lines? He does, and what's he do? He does a 36.5. Good lap for Monster, right behind Grimmo and ahead of his teammate. So really good lap, and that'll be a sigh of relief for Monster after his 2 invalidations. So really, really good lap time. Needs to take a little bit of time now just to recoup that, get the battery back, and then he will be surely going again. Already 8 minutes left of this session. Thomas has gone now into the 34s. Really pushing on, and that's what I mean. 4 laps now on those inters. He is pushing on, and they seem to get better and better. The fuel load's going down, the heat's in the tyres, the grip's coming to him as well. Any luck? Ah. Yeah, we'll try it. We'll keep on going. So, who is going to start a lap? Perfect timing. Dunwolf goes across the start-finish line. Turn 1 legs a little bit earlier, a little bit of a lock-up, misses the inside curve, but doesn't run too far wide. Turn 2 runs very wide. There's just no grip at all. Turn 3 usually flat out, but fighting a little bit with the understeer and the rear of the car. Turn 4, there was a little kink. You're now into the new section, Turn 5. This was happening quite a few years ago now. Bit of controversy. I personally prefer the old setup and the old layout. A lot of drivers prefer this long straight. The wider hairpin before at turn 5, this long straight. The speed trap was there, and then he brakes about the 100 metre board, gets the car stopped just about in time for turn 6. Turn 7, easy to lose the rear out of there as well, but need a good drive out of there through there. That was turn 8, the second part of the DRS that you get. And it's a double, well, I don't think it's no, it's not a double DRS, I do apologise. Another new section of banked hairpin, turn 9, there it goes, and easy again to lose the rear. Again, I kind of preferred the old layout, but hey ho, there was turn 10, turn 11, and heavy braking into a wider turn 12 than we had before, and the re-profile turn 13, there it goes, under the hotel. Turn 14, also just a little bit different because of the entrance, how it changed. And then we've got a turn 15, also wider and faster than it was previously. Turn 16, always tricky corner, and then on the power of the short run towards line, does a 36.2 and does improve by 0.6 on his previous lap. I will ask Trem if he gets working and joins, is able to, but as well, anybody in the chat, please do. What do you think of the new layouts, folk? What do you think about this setup compared to the old and original layout of Abu Dhabi? Like to hear your thoughts on it. Like I said, I'm quite like parts of the old setup. I like that tricky bit in the first sector, the fiddly hair chicanes, and even the one in the middle of the second sector. I quite liked it personally. Some people didn't. Let me hear your thoughts on that one. We've got a few people still out on track. What's Grimo doing now? He's done a... Wow, he is really flying on this lap, but... That's interesting. Thomas is getting a set of medium tyres on. Does that mean it's drying up and stopped raining? Well, it's not stopped raining yet. But maybe he just thinks we're almost at a crossover point where he was losing the grip. And he just thinks it could come to him. At the end of Grimo, there is definitely that very nice dry line now through the final sector, and that Aston looks very planted as well. Nice little drift as he gets the power on towards the line. He's in the 34s as well, so along with his teammate and Thomas. What's Blood Diamond doing? He's up as well on his time through the first sector.
I think I may have fixed it.
Ooh, that'll be good.
Yeah, so I went into the party we were in and clicked allow voice at the bottom. It was actually a setting in the party chat itself.
Oh really? Oh, that's interesting. So, yep, Greg's just said now we do.
Oh, wicked.
Wicked. Good evening. Hello.
So this is what I sound like to everyone else.
This is it, exactly. So you've misqualified now. So let me go through a bit. We've had a few people doing a few laps on the inters. I thought Thomas may have used the mediums, but he decided against it. And yeah, quite a good few lap times as well. It's about 2 seconds separating the top 10. Which sounds a lot, but obviously we know in these conditions it's not, especially around here as well. But Blood Diamond out, look at that, he's really finding time. I'm interested to see what Thomas is doing. He's swapping between the mediums and the I think he's just playing with setup, to be honest. GTR's done a few laps. He's in ahead of his teammate. But yeah, what do you think of this track then, Trem? How are you finding it generally, and well, I know you're relieved to not be racing tonight.
Yeah, it's a tricky track. I mean, on 24 I've raced it a few times, but Dom called me out for being a pussy for not racing, so I was going to race it, but I didn't have a setup. And I thought it's a tough track with a setup.
Yeah.
So without one I'd be struggling, and actually looking at the conditions I'm actually glad.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? It's a big trade-off for that rear downforce that you need through the faster corners to keep the rear, alive and keep it there. And then also you need the front end to follow. You just need a very stable, very what's the term? Sort of just very a car that's alive and responds to you and be planted under. You don't need understeer. You don't want that kick of oversteer. Everything's so high speed, and because the walls are so close, it's usually game over.
Yeah, it's one of them as well where if you're slightly offline, like a couple of tracks, it takes you a while to get back into the rhythm.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? It really, really does. Yeah, so still a little bit of rain hovering around, but Thomas is going out on the mediums. That'll be an interesting one to see how those tyres seem to work. Mike's improved, VX has improved, so Monster down in 11th. But he's on the fresh inters. Everybody now done a few laps on those inters. Blood Diamond stayed out, and he's just really burning through his set, so he won't have time to strap on a fresh set towards the end. Whereas everybody now on fresher inters, lower fuel. They'll sort of know where the grip is. It may take them an extra lap, but most of them get round in time. Monster should, but depends on how much battery he uses, if he can do a second flying lap. And let's ride on board with him. Yeah, that rain's still coming down, but doesn't look too wet. Monster taking it slightly offline just round the start, down the back straight, just to maybe cool those tyres. It was supposed to be a feature, but I don't know about you, mate. I've never noticed it, to be honest. Whoa, drift for Monster! That's going to ruin his lap. But yeah, I've not noticed if, when you say you go offline in the wet conditions, if it helps or not. I don't know if you've seen anything.
No, I mean, you could probably run a bit wider than you normally would. The thing I don't like about these wet races is the blocky rain that seems to be coming off the back of cars.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's, they changed it for the, for the tyre smoke when people were locking up and whatnot, and it's just made it 10 times worse. We nearly had to, where was it we were before Singapore? Azerbaijan. And you just couldn't see anything. If you were behind even two cars, that was it. You could not see the braking zone. You couldn't see a corner. You couldn't see a single thing. And we nearly called it off, but we managed to sort of keep it going. But now it seems to be that you're right. As soon as there's any spray as well, it looked like an extra from Minecraft.
Yeah, it's not great, is it? It's not very fluid. It just, you can see it coming up from the ground in straight lines instead of like a mist. Yeah,
it used to be okay, and they have somehow created an update that's taken it back 7 years. And I don't know how. They must have imported the wrong file somewhere. I don't know how they've done it, but it is Codemasters, so, they do what they do. Right, so checker flag is out. A few cars cross the line. Dom is the best he can do. Is 5th. Hunter in 7th. Monsters up into 8th. May get another lap in. Vexman is in 9th at best. Blood Diamond currently on provisional pole. We'll watch him finish through his lap. I'm interested to see what Thomas can do. Actually, I'm going to go and have a look at Thomas. Nope, he's bailed. He tried the mediums, didn't work. So Thomas at best, he's going to be at P2. We will see what the Aston Martin boys can do in just a moment while Blood Diamond finishes his lap. Has he improved? Is he going to cement that pole position? Gets Fairy Tail happy out the final corner. It does improve. He's into the 33s. What about Liquid Gas? He's the next one. He has finished. He's bailed and invalidated his lap. What about his teammate? What can Grimo do? Can he challenge the front row of the grid? Can he challenge for pole position? The rain's lighter. The grip's at its perfect best that you're going to get in these conditions. Grimo, power down towards the line. It's not going to improve. It does improve, but he overtakes his teammates. So it's second row for the Aston Martins. Once again, it's the V-Carbs who will lock out the front row. Blood Diamond ahead of his teammate. Then we've got Grimo ahead of Liquid Gas. Monsters improved once again into 5th. Really great lap from him. Good qualifying at the end. Then we got GTR Vauxhall Nova has basically turned into a... Well, I'm a bit biased. I was going to say a Fiesta ST, but they were rivals towards my car, so I'm going to go with my car instead. He's a Golf GTI. There we go. He's a bit quicker. Don Walsh ahead of his teammate Red Bull 7th and 8th. Then we've got hybrid players in the Alpine in 9th. Hunter in 10th in the other Ferrari. Then we've got Vexman ahead of the Chef, and then Bowden didn't set a lap time, left, had a connection issue, and he's back in the session, I do believe. So, Trent, now we can come to you, my friend. I hope everything's settled down for you and you.
Yeah,
and we're all
sorted.
cozy. Happy days. Yeah, interesting quality that one. In a few people using some laps. Blood Diamond only used that one set of inters and went faster still at the end, which is interesting to see how those tyres held up for him. And
quite a bit quicker as well.
yeah, he's got a good 5.5, nearly 6/10 over his teammate. So yeah, that's an interesting one, that one. And I mean, I'd imagine we're going to have a dry race. I wouldn't think we'd have any problems with weather. But there we go, folks. There are your 13 qualifiers. Yeah, quite a big gap, but then it's quite close between a couple of them there, isn't it? You know, you've got 300s between Thomas and Grimmo, who's only just a tenth ahead of his teammate. A little 3/10 exactly back to Monster, who's only just ahead of the GTI Golf there. And then we've got the two Red Bulls. So, yeah, very, very close there. And this is also another one that obviously Thomas must have. Liquid Gas has said, nice to hear the both of us. It certainly is. Yeah. But yeah, dry weather. So people have got a lot of tyres now to play with, haven't they? And strategy is going to be quite crucial, I would imagine.
Well, if I was racing, I'd still expect the top two to take the qualifying tyres.
Well, now that's an interesting one, yeah. That's a good point.
Stick them in intermediates and let us boys at the back have a chance.
Yeah, I think they should. I don't know the ruling in the league on that one. I think Thomas would
actually still be faster.
Yeah, we've got a gentleman in our league who, if it's dry, he will do a lap or two on the inters. And I don't know how he does it. He just does it every time.
Yeah, it's mental, isn't it?
Yeah. Some of them can actually out-qualify people as well, which is even scarier.
Well, the league that VX and Bowden have come from, they had a lad last year that was on, I think he was 3/10 off esports.
Wow.
And he was literally rapid.
Wow.
I'm trying to think of what his name was. There was a few of them that came over from a different league, and everyone was like, well, shit, there goes the league.
Yeah, we've got a few like that as well in MRC, and we've got a guy who's won numerous back-to-back top-tier titles. And then we've just got one or two drivers who have joined recently. And there were races, there was a race he won by, I'm talking 15. Bears in mind, it's the same race distance as this league, and he must have won by about 15 seconds. It was Imola. It was a track that he actually lives near as well, and he loves. And it was just one of those that it was just. I stopped watching him. I'm not going to lie. I forgot he existed. I just focused on everybody else. But it was just incredible to watch. But we've got a few people now, and he's definitely not having it his own way. And it's turned the top tier into a real fight. And unfortunately, they put me in that tier now as well, because I won the second tier title again with like 4 races left to go last season. So I've now got to. I'm fighting for points. I'm fighting to finish. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that's kind of like what I do in this league. I think the other league where the lads came from were ASR. I think it was called ASR.
Oh yeah,
and
I've heard of that.
Literally in Brazil lapped me.
Wow.
And I think I finished 15th out of 20, so I was like doing pretty well on equal cars. But the couple of guys came through from ASR, and they were just absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, we do get them in, and it makes you wonder how, if that makes sense. You know, especially on equal cars, the setup that they have, or the feel and the handling that they've got. It does boggle my mind a little bit of how they are so fast and so confident and can get that pace out of an equal performance car. It really, honestly, it throws me every single time when I'm watching them. And you know, people have come out the pits and I'm thinking, oh yeah, I've got a pit stop ahead of them, and 5 laps later they're right on my tail, and I'm like, how?
Yeah, it's just it's the confidence and probably the practice that they put in, but also running no assists, how they can be that quick and everything.
Yeah, the only one I use is the ABS, and I've not sort of got the confidence or the time really to drop it fully. And it's also one I've sort of loath to drop, but I think I still want to enjoy it.
Yeah.
But let's have a look at the tyre strategies, and quite an interesting one. So Blood Diamond and Thomas, well, actually the top 6 are all on the medium tyres. Dom is on the hards with Mike, his teammate, on the soft tyres. Then we've got Hybrid on the mediums. Then we've got Hunter and Borden further back on the hards, everyone else on the medium tyres. So quite a mix of strategies there. I don't blame someone like Borden and Hunter going on the hard tyres, trying to go long through their first stint. Mike maybe trying to get some places up as well. I wonder if Thomas has used that set of mediums in quali. Just sort of say, okay, I can now start on those, potentially. I know it's different rules for wet quali to dry. The strategies quickly popped up there at the bottom, folks. Medium hard to the 2-stop, or preferred 2-stop, or soft to the hard, the mediums to the hard tyres is the standard 1-stop strategy. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting one to see how it plays out, of course. A few more drivers in tonight, risk of safety car. I'm not going to mention Monster because I did it last week and it seemed to happen exactly how I called it, so I'm not mentioning anything to do with Andrew. I
think he'll be hoping Chef doesn't come round the corner and literally cut the car in half.
Well, I made a random joke in qualifying saying, oh no, as him and Jack have had a tangle. I need to stop mentioning him. I've just got the best commentator's curse in the world. But yeah. I said he wasn't going to have he was running the solo prancing horse and hoped he wasn't going to be a 3-legged donkey, and well, Chef then wiped a wheel off, so he was a 3-legged donkey in the end.
Yeah, luckily I just come round the corner and just missed him.
Yeah, you did. You went one way and I think Chef went the other, and didn't get it quite right. So here we go, folks. Everyone lining up on the grid. Everyone managing to park the cars properly, which is lovely to see. And then we've got the 3 red lights, now 4, now 5, and under the lights of Abu Dhabi we go racing, and everybody off to quite an equal start. Looks like the Aston Martin's got a good getaway as well, but Blood Diamond gets a clean one into turn 1. I think it was Monster and Mike Taylor. Mike got a really good start on the soft tyres. Dom, not a good one at all. But the top 5 as you were on the grid, while Mike is now battling. GTR got a really poor start. Yep, he is. And GTR dropped a couple of places and trying to go around the outside, but he's got an Alpine of Hybrid on his inside as well, trying to have a look. Chef and Borden at the back there, swap spots as well. But there we go, everyone, the top 4, top 5, all cleanly getting away. Mike with a fantastic start. A few cars side by side at the back. That's Hunter looking at Don Walsh on the inside. Oh, what happened there? I think that was Mike.
Someone missed the braking point and smashed into Monster.
Yeah, they did. I hope Monster. That's GTR. He has got damage. Who was that at the back? That's Monster's been hit. Monster's been hit down the road. He's got most of his wing missing.
Yeah, I caught that. Chef just absolutely annihilated him.
Oh, that's horrible. That's so unlucky.
But he just has the worst luck ever.
Yeah,
they were both going in a straight line, and I think someone went up Chef's inside, and Chef pulled to the right and literally just absolutely annihilated him into a wall.
Oh, nightmare. So, but it is unfortunate green flag. That's horrible for Monster. He had a great start as well into 5th, but that's going to hamper him massively through the race. Let's get rid of the position change. We've seen half of that. So Mike, now I'll be interested to see what we see in stewards after that. I'd imagine a few of those will turn up in there, but we'll leave it to the stewards to look at. I don't comment in commentators because it's, well, not really ours, and he's retired. Must have had a lot of damage. He did have, it was a big hit, that, wasn't it? So
I mean, I've got it on my stream, so we could always use that.
Yeah, fingers crossed he recovers from that. Yeah, not good at all, but we still have 28 laps of racing, 27 and a half, so GTR did have a bit of damage as well. He's got Don Morse that's going through under the DRS, and we've got the top 4. After all that little squabbling that's gone on, the top 4 have disappeared into the distance. It's going to be Mike now with those soft tyres who's going to be trying and pushing to get back and close the gap, but he's under pressure from the other Ferrari. We're used to seeing a lone Ferrari, but unfortunately the one that we normally see isn't in the session. It was very bad luck for you, Andrew, so keep going. But this is interesting because this is soft tyres against hard tyres now with Mike and Hunter. So this is going to be interesting to see how those hard tyres warm up and see what grip they've got. Because Mike is losing, well, he's lost a second this lap to the top 4. As they're all trading fastest laps there between them all.
I mean, VX has done well to come up 4 places, but there's a great battle with the 2 Mercedes and hybrid players.
Yeah, let's have a quick look back to that one. Yeah, that is a bit of a double team. He's not wanting to be. What happened to Mike? I think Mike went very, very wide, got very squirrely through turn 2. I think that's put... I'm a bit confused. That's very confusing because Hunter backed off and has dropped right to the back. Yeah. I wonder if there was a yellow flag somewhere. Borden's left the session, connection issues again for him. But now Mike has had his teammate on the hard tyres now going through. I wonder if there was, because Mike had a moment, there might have been a yellow flag. Mike's gone very, very wide. Is that Mike? No, it wasn't. It was his teammate. That was Dom. He's gone very wide. Has he got damage? I've seen cars all over the place here, and I'm really confused as what's happening. But this is like a DRS fight now. Who's going to take the best line into turn 9? Vexman's just holding on from hybrid players, and we've got Hunter on the inside. He's trying to look. I don't know if that was almost over the white line on the inside. I've never seen that line before. He's gone very, very wide. I have a feeling we're going to see some time penalties coming through very soon.
Yeah, VX is extending the track quite wide in that Ferrari.
He is a little bit. Yeah, it is. Yeah, a strange one that. But it was a strange one. I don't know what happened with him and Mike. I really am confused by that because Mike went wide, and I don't know if he got caught in it a little bit and then had to back off, but he seemed to let a lot of the cars through there. But he's got an Alpine on his outside. That's hybrid, but can he make the move through turn 2? He can't at this moment in time, so Hunter is through. Vexman, well, Mike's just dropped off outside of the DRS from his teammate as well. Dom is on the hard tyres, don't forget. Mike on the soft tyres, and I'm surprised that they seem to have fallen off so early.
It looks like they're struggling to get the hard tyres warm on the early laps because VX Hunter's on the hard tyres and he's struggling.
Yeah, but Dom's okay. I mean, I know they have lost a lot because they was battling so much. They have lost a lot of time to those the top 4, which we'll go back to now because Grimo, ahead of his teammate, takes another wide line, a different line through the exit of turn 9. But he is very, very close to these top 2. And I think Jack looks like the way he's braking and the way that car's handling, that Aston, he seems to have a little bit more front end grip and a little bit more confidence through the slower corners than Grimo. Yeah, Grimo's just dropped off a little bit. I mean, only talking about a tenth or so through that sector.
Yeah, Vex is all over Mike and it looks like he's going to get past on the straight.
Let's have a quick look to that one. Tries to, not quite long enough, that DRS straight.
And Chef's got the pens.
Yep, first one. I think. But yeah, Mike has just dropped so far. He's now dropped to 2.5 seconds from the back of his teammates. So it's the soft tyres that aren't working, whereas the mediums and the hards seem to be working quite well at the minute. Because, yeah, okay, VX has dropped off. Not sure why, but it's the hards of Dom that seems to be working the best at the minute. Yeah, he's not close to the top 4 because it dropped out, and now because everyone up there is in this DRS train where we've got Grimo trying to have a look at Blood Diamond. The 2 leaders have swapped the V-carbs, just defended from Blood Diamond this time round. But yeah, Blood Diamond and Thomas, they swapped places once again, but of course Thomas is our leader in the championship, ahead of, I think it's Jack. Oh, Blood Diamond, very, very squirrely there. Let's ride on board with him. So naturally, Blood Diamond's going to help his teammate through this
he's going to try and hold up the Astons as much as possible, isn't he?
Yeah, and try and stick within any of the DRS that you get as well. So that's going to try and help him as well to defend, while potentially not trying to attack his teammate.
And Dom's looking like he's having pretty much a quiet race on his own in 5th.
Yeah, but like I say, he's on those hard tyres in comparison to everyone else in the mediums. He's pulled that gap in a little bit on the last lap. So they seem to be working quite well. And of course, I think with it being realistic performance, he's got more power in that Red Bull than the leaders do. So yeah, it's going to be interesting because he is closing now, and it's going to be interesting to see how he can keep those tyres going. And also keep his battery, because this is one of those tracks that doesn't really lend itself to
Mike just lost 2 places.
Yep, just saw that. Let's have a quick look back.
Good battle with these 5.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? But I'm going to go back to the leaders. Has anything happened at the front? It hasn't this time round, so still let's go back down. So we've got, the 5 again. Is Hunter going to have a look at plays? He's trying to go on the outside at the turn 9, latest on the brakes. He's got the hard tyres that seem to be working well and went right round the outside. What a good move. And the GTR has got through on Mike. Those soft tyres just not working. This early on with a heavy fuel, they're just not working for Mike.
No, they've just burnt out quick, haven't they?
Yeah, they have.
He could do with a safety car here.
Yeah, I think that would help him. I'd be surprised. Yeah, there he goes. He's diving into the pits. So end of lap 7. End of lap 6, start of lap 7 for these guys. So yeah, he decided that's enough for him. Blood Diamond is getting worryingly close for him, as now the Astons have just swapped places. It's Jack's turn to have a go at Blood Diamond, who's getting worryingly close to the exit of the DRS of his teammate. Manages to get it again though. So let's have a quick look at the tyres. So Mike's put the mediums on, so that's a 2-stop strategy for him. Oh, Blood Diamond once again gets very, very squirrely. That's going to really hamper his exit because he was squirrely again. Got the DRS, so what about Jack? What's he going to be like? He's closing, he's gone for the outside line. How can Blood Diamond recover from it? It's close, there's a bit of a squeeze. There was a bit of contact as well. Managed to get round the corner. And Liquid Gas is taken second and now in pursuit of Thomas, the championship and race leader.
Yeah, Blood Diamond dumped all his ERS there to try and fight Liquid Gas, but didn't just have enough on that corner.
RKB7 can pull a 16-second gap back. I wonder if that's Borden in the chat looking at the gaps. It could be. So if it is, I hope your connection's sorted itself out, pal. And yeah, you're not far from the points. You've got 18 seconds to catch up to the chef, who's got 6 seconds of penalties at this moment in time. Now then, Blood Diamond was sort of just keeping behind his teammate, keeping him protected. Now he's not going to be able to do that.
Great overtake by Mike into the last corner there. Obviously on fresher tyres, but it was a hell of a move.
Yeah, is Jack going to try it this time into the first braking point? Not quite going to try it. Is he just saving himself for the exit? Little bit of a twitch from Liquid Gas as Jack, as he gets on the power, using his overtake button a little bit, using a little bit of battery. But he's got the DRS wide open. He's trying to go around the outside, the side by side under the braking zone. Mike, he's trying to. There's a little bit of contact with Thomas. Jack's trying to take a different line, but is he going to have the overspeed and the exit? Thomas has got it. Who's lost? We'll come back to that in just 1 second. Grimo's had a moment. Oh my goodness me, what happened to Grimo? Oh yeah,
he got tagged by Dom and
must have been Blood Diamond, was it?
Blood Diamond, sorry, and he's lost his wing completely. Safety car.
Oh, it is. Yeah, he has. Yeah. So just as Liquid Gas takes the lead,
that's unlucky for Mike.
That is really unlucky for Mike, yeah it is. But literally, look at that, leaders are pitting. Blood Diamond's had to stay out, and he'll catch the safety car as well. Grimo's going to have to pit. Yes, he will stack, but he's got no choice. Don Walsh has also stayed out. Let's go back to these tyres. Oh, 3 seconds for GTR. So yeah, they're going the hard tyres, the leaders. It makes sense for the people on hards to stay out. They've got 20 laps to do on it, so it's interesting to see if they'll do roughly 20 laps, that what Dom and Hunter can do as well. Vexman's pitted for a set of mediums.
Medium. Did he start on mediums?
Pass. Yeah, I think he did actually. No, yeah, he did. Yes, that's a two-stopper for him.
Maybe he's hoping for another late safety car with the incidents we've had up to now.
Yeah, of course, Monster was a horrible, really unlucky one. But yeah, the first safety car that we've had. So yeah, even though there was a little bit.
VX has had a really strange race, hasn't he? He was kind of like down there, then he went up there, then he went down again. Now he finds himself in third, making up 7 places.
Yeah, it is a strange one, isn't it? And that's just the patience of the hard tyre. I think he will be under a lot of pressure from Jack and Thomas. Of course, they're going to want to get through on him as soon as possible. I think the one who's going to suffer the most is Blood Down, because if he decides to pit this lap and go on the same strategy, he's going to drop pretty much to the back of the field because of how slow the safety car is with everyone behind. So I think if he does, I think he's sort of got no choice, really.
No, I think he's got to stay out and hope while everyone's bunched together and battling, there might be another safety car he could dive in. Now he's pitting.
He has pitted, yeah. I think it was just bad luck. He's so close to his teammate. He had no choice, really. I mean, potentially a double stack would have played better into his hands, and yes, he would have dropped time to his teammate, but it wouldn't be as bad as it is now. But he's going to have the fresher, well, everyone's going to have fresh tyres, but if he goes on to the hards, which he does, he'll be able to go, though, a little bit quicker, not much, but a bit quicker to get some heat into his tyres by the end of the lap, where everyone else behind the safety car is going to struggle.
He might have been better double stacking as well, because he might have blocked a few cars as well.
Can you do that in the pits? Does it work like that? I think they just ghost, don't they?
Do they go through each other, or do you get held?
You get held for that. Yeah, you get held. Yeah, if it's another team, you do get held. Yeah, you do get held for that. You only get held in your own pit box.
Right.
That was it. Yeah. So the ones that are going to be interested is Vexman and Taylor, because they're on the mediums. But at the start of the race, we saw only after a couple of laps the hard tyres seemed to have about the same grip, if not a little bit more, than the people around on the mediums. And so, they are going to have to pit again to take those another 19 laps, while Mike's is only taking them 3, because he pitted that lap before the safety car unfortunately came out. But now it's about how can he keep them alive? Are they actually going to last that long? Are they going to feel horrible by the end? But we will soon find out as the safety car is in this lap. So Don Walsh is now the de facto safety car and can control the field. Quite heavily worn in comparison. It's 9 laps on the hard tyres that him and Hunter have done.
I was just looking at that.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what grip they've got and the overall grip of the guys on the new hard tyres. But let's ride on board with the Red Bull ahead of a Ferrari. We've seen that numerous times.
Jack and Thomas is hoping there's an incident between Liquid Gas and VX or Dom while he's trying to get past him.
Yeah, I would imagine so. Out the last corner goes Dom. He's got Hunter with him. Liquid Gas a little bit further back, actually. Got caught a little bit napping, I think, just where he decided to go. Grimo and Vexman having a little ding-dong as well, further back. That's important for Grimo to go through on the fresher tyres. Very, very, very important. But that's costing them a lot of time.
Whoa!
What we've seen there, was that Chef
Liquid Gas missed his braking point and nearly slammed right into the back of VX, and Thomas has got through.
I saw something, but I wasn't sure exactly what I saw. But I tell you what, he's also got Mike having a little look, but he's not quite well. He's actually using all of his battery, dumping battery to try to close up, whereas Dom and VX have swapped places. The Ferrari's through under brakes into turn 6.
Yeah, I caught it on my stream. I was just going to see if Thomas was going to send it into the corner, and I looked up and Liquid Gas was just flying towards the corner far too quick and had to bail out.
Yeah, so now look at this, absolutely nose to tail. The two drivers with the more one tyres, but I tell you what, Thomas is going to have a quick look on the inside as he almost tried to take two and manages to get the car stopped for the Ferrari, but the Red Bull's still having a look, and now Liquid Gas is desperately trying to follow through on the other Red Bull to try to follow Thomas. This is desperate times for Jack. He's done this before, we've seen this in a few races, but that's allowed Grimo and Vexman all in this little battling on the fresher tyres to catch back up. Now DRS is enabled. Will we see Thomas come through? What are we going to see about Liquid Gas into turn one? Is he going to try and have a look at the inside of the Red Bull? Gives him room. Has he got the power? Oh, he had to back out of it. I think the Red Bull made a sudden movement to almost go for the apex and then realised the elastin was there. That's put Mike off, and that's allowed Grimo to come back through as well, and now behind his teammate, but Mike's going to go around the outside and hold it there and get the power down as he does. Wow, I'm surprised about that. That was some really good overtaking, but look at this, the Red Bull ahead has not got the DRS. Is Jack going to send in the inside? Can he get the car stopped in time? He just about can and gets the move done. So that's another Red Bull taking over. Wow, the Red Bulls, the other two side by side. I think that was Dom got very, very squirrely. Mike's now through. Grimo behind this, probably frustrated as well, trying to get through, needs to get through. And now Liquid Gas says VX Hunter's got a 3-second penalty running wide at the exit of turn 9. I tell you what, Blood Diamond's not really. Actually, Blood Diamond's had a great start. He's through. He was at the back of the pack, and he's passed 4 drivers already.
Yeah, I'm just watching Grimo. He's got Vex all over the back of him, and he's also trying to catch up back with Dom.
Yeah, didn't he? That, and his lights flashing as well. He's using quite a bit of his battery at this moment in time. I would sort of be loath to save it as much as possible and just use it under acceleration when needed. It's not really very powerful when it comes down to it. But I tell you what, Hunter's just about in the DRS as Jack's taken very, very deep line, and I tell you what, Mike's tried to send it on Jack into the hairpin. I don't know if Jack took just a wider line, got a bit of understeer, but he's now got the DRS. There's got Ferrari as well. Jack's not going to be able to go that way. The track limits that side, but I tell you what, that's allowed Mike to have a look through on the inside, and he's made the move done. Jack's holding it out, trying his best, now trying to switch back, and Jack's lost out once more. And Grimo's had a moment. What's happened to Grimo further back? He's spun. I don't know if he was tagged. He was in a fierce battle with Vexman. He's really dropped down the order.
I'm just going to see if Vex has got any damage. No, he hasn't. Maybe he just spun, or there was a little bit of contact.
Yeah, it could have been wheel to wheel, couldn't it? And then that could have caused it. But Dom's dropped off a little bit as well. We saw how quick he was on the restart. But interesting, Liquid Gas, he was sort of trying to go on the outside of Hunter. Hunter wasn't giving him the room where the track is going to narrow automatically, and that just allowed Mike to go around the inside of both of them, take 2 spots down that first DRS, and is now trying to hunt down Thomas as quickly as he can. Don't forget, he has to pit as well, so does Hunter, which is why it is big time for Jack to get through. Chef's now on 9 seconds of penalties in 14 laps. That takes some doing, even around here. But
I think
Jack
this
now,
is where Jack gets past very easily.
Yep, certainly does. Way before the braking zone as well. But now let's just keep our eyes on Jack. He likes to use a bit of his battery, but I think he was in the DRS detection point of Mike as well. So now the grip is coming to Jack. Now he's going to have the pace, and Mike's used a lot of his battery as well, trying to pull a gap and trying to close on Thomas, but isn't quite able to do it. And you can just see the overspeed, can't you, on the Aston Martin? A realistic performance, that shouldn't happen, but I'll tell you what, Jack had to take avoiding action. Mike broke so early, or looked like, off there. He could have actually picked his normal point, but Jack's overspeed had to take avoiding action, because that could have been a real big crash then.
Yeah, Jack seems to be braking a lot later than the people in front of him, and I think it's catching him out a little bit here and there.
Yeah, it is. I
I
tell
think
you
it'd be
what,
better
though.
waiting for the straights and just getting through on the DRS rather than risking front wing damage.
Yeah, I mean, if you can get it early enough in the last sector, you may be able to pull that gap anyhow. But that 2 seconds is going to be a tall order, I think, through that. But tell you what, Blood Diamond at the back is now up to 6th and has got past, well, quite a few. Let's put it that way. As now Jack pulls to the inside under the DRS and gets the move done first time round. So he's now got 1.8 seconds to chase down the leader.
Vex with a nice clean place, clean overtake past VX, and Blood Diamond's just got past them as well.
Yep, so Hunter was on the tyres, the hard tyres from the start, so 15 laps in. Yes, we've had a safety car, so that'll be what, call it 14 laps maybe of wear on those tyres. Heavy fuel. They're probably not going to feel very good at this point.
I do feel sorry for Grimo though, down 8 places.
Yeah, not sure what happened that caused him to lose his front wing, and obviously had another spin as well. So yeah, it is not the greatest race, unfortunately, for Grimo. Not best of luck. But he's up the back of the chef as now Grimo's trying to make a comeback, but they're still 7 seconds off the back of the rest of the field, who are still closely bunched. Let's go back. Hybrid is making a move. That was Dom Walsh as well. I think that Ferrari is crying with its tyres. Just trying to eke them out a little bit longer, maybe put the mediums on and try to go to the end to do maybe 10, 11 laps, you reckon, on those tyres, you think? On the mediums?
Yeah, I think he could make it work because he's in one of the faster cars, so he doesn't have to force the tyres as much.
Yeah, that's true, isn't it? Yeah, but it depends on the driving style. What happened, Blood Diamond? What happened to Jack? Jack's obviously had a moment. He was closing quite a bit to the leader, and he's now dropped down to 5th. Mike's got back past
Blood Diamond got past Vex, and I didn't see what happened to Jack.
I think he may have lost the rear outside of turn 7. Grimo's now finally got past the chef. But yeah, Jack must have lost the rear, and I don't know if he had a spin or just such a big moment. There was a decent gap. I think Mike had 2 seconds, I think, to Vex at the time. But Blood Diamond, he's the man, absolutely on a charge. And I think that Thomas is going to be very relieved to see him on his Delta times, that he's closing in and he's back up into 3rd as Doms decides he's pitted. He's pitted, but I reckon the game's done what it normally can do at this track, and it gives you a warning / penalty when you go into the pits, and I think it may have just done that to Dom and given him a warning with a penalty. I don't know how your stewards work, but in ours we would, if you provide the race director and say, look, I have no more warnings after this, and this is what happened for my 3rd warning, we would probably remove that warning and remove a 3 seconds.
Yeah, it's a weird one by the game, isn't it?
Yeah, it's horrible. It seems to be this track only, but it's done it for a couple of games now, actually. It's not like a one-off. It just keeps on doing it.
At least they solved the pothole anyway.
There's a few.
Yeah. I know a couple of top esports guys were complaining last season and the start early in this season, but it seems like every time they do a patch update, they fix one thing and fuck 4 things up.
Yeah, they do, don't they? It's difficult that, just something gets worse. They're doing a patch update and now you can't see when somebody locks up in front of you. The rain looks like it's an explosion in a Lego store. But the cars are handling fine in terms of the way the cars handle. The cars look really well at the minute, especially under the lights here in Abu Dhabi. But some of the little bits that they're doing just isn't working. Hunter's now making his pit stop as well. Couldn't take them any longer. Let's have a look. He's gone to the medium, so is Dom as well. That's going to be a close one on the exit. No, Dom's going to make it through into turn 1 as he goes now. But yeah, it seems to be one thing then another, isn't it, with these guys?
Diamond up into 2nd.
Yep, got to move done under DRS on Mike. He's in 11 laps on his mediums. They will be crying out as well.
That's a great comeback from pitting.
It really is, isn't it? We just said there on the safety car that had to wait that extra lap, was at the back of the pack, and now 8 laps later, he's made it back into second. And shows the pace that he had early on, to be fair. You know, he kept both the Astons behind, and Jack eventually got through. But no, this is, take 2 for Jack behind Mike.
Oof, that was close.
It really was.
He's trying to push that Red Bull out the way.
Yeah, he is. I wonder if Mike's going to look to pit anytime soon, because 11 laps on the mediums, there won't be... I mean, yes, okay, some of it was safety car, but they weren't great, and Jack's just got so much maneuver speed. Vexman's decided he's had enough. 9 laps on his mediums as Jack's just gone round the outside of Mike. Didn't seem to hold him up too much, didn't seem to defend too heavily there, just knows it's not really his race. He knows he's going to have to pit again.
He got so much good traction coming out the final corner and loaded it onto the straight. I don't think Mike had much chance.
Yeah, it did seem that way, didn't it? And Liquid Gas actually has done a purple first sector, the fastest of the race. Grimo's on a good recovery. He is now into 7th. A little bit on his own. He needs to close that gap to Hybrid and the GTI Golf. I would have called him... I mean, I'm favoured instead of the Fiesta and Focus ST range to the Hyundai range, but it's too much of a mouthful to say quickly.
Yeah. I mean, I've got a Focus ST.
Right, we'll have words. We're fine.
I couldn't afford what I wanted, and that was a Golf R Series.
Yeah, I do like those as well. Jack's actually got past Blood Diamond, so Jack really is pushing on so quickly at the minute. Really huge amount of pace from him.
Yeah, I could just see Jack out the back as Thomas disappears. Jack comes flying round the corner.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he? And he's already pulled a couple of tenths in this final sector as well. Mike has now, he's decided those mediums are done. Whoa, GTR! Very screwy outside the final corner. Is that going to allow Hybrid to have a look into turn 1? Thought about it, not quite close enough. Chef's got another penalty. Let's bring those penalties up. 3 for GTR, 3 for Dom, 3 for Hunter, and 12 seconds for Nigella Lawson, who is definitely probably shouting and screaming like Gordon Ramsay in the McLaren. But Hunter on fresher mediums has now put the fastest lap of the race on the board. Blood Diamond's outside of DRS from Jack at the moment. So that's interesting. But that gap for Thomas hasn't changed from the 3 seconds in that sector. As Hybrid's trying to have a look, not quite able to make the move stick into the first point, and he's decided he's trying to play this tactically, get the second dose of DRS, and then GTR moves to the inside. This is going to be round the outside, overtaking it to another favoured move, you'd have to say, and he just about left enough room, and round the outside goes Hybrid on to, I think that's a computer player, isn't he? He's a PC player. Here's GTR.
Yeah, there's a great battle going on at the back here.
Let's have a quick look at that. Oh, crying out loud. Yeah, just cut to it at the right time. As Vex has gone around the outside, Chef got very squirrely on the inside, and Hunter's through as well.
Well, Vex got past Chef, and then Chef just got behind his slipstream and got back past him again. And then VX turned up, and then there was like 3 into 1 corner.
Wow. Luckily, they all made it out the other side.
Yeah, Hybrid players into 4th, now right on the back of Blood Diamond.
Yeah, well, he's 6 seconds off the back of that now, and yeah, Jack's close to 2.5 for Thomas. Blood Diamond's now got back within the DRS as well. So these battles aren't done, there's 8 more laps to go.
Good battle for 4th and 5th.
It is, that's what we're looking at that on stream now. Where are we going to see a carbon copy of last lap? GTR trying to get the exit on Hybrid. I think Hybrid got a good exit, but the DRS is very powerful. He's used the overtake button. He's trying to go to the inside. The Alpine knows the outside's the better line. Who's heavy on the brakes? There's the Alpine round the outside. Has he got the traction? Has he got the overall speed? And he's still ahead, and still keeps ahead. I see this one's going to go on for quite a while. We're going to keep our eye
nice
on the...
clean as well.
It is. That's what we love to see, isn't it? That's what you want. Respectful, clean racing. Hard and fair. Liquid gas is closing now. 2.3. It was just a 2.2. It goes up over the final sector. But yeah, that's going to be an interesting one. That battle's not done for the win either, I don't think. But Blood Diamond as well, keeping Jack honest, not letting him have it all his own way. Grimo's slightly starting to close on these two in 4th and 5th. He's got a good gap to both the Red Bulls, who were together on track, and Vexman's got through on Hunter, and Chef's unfortunately dropped off the backboard and hasn't been able to do anything. He had to take that pit stop, and yeah, just not worked out well for Borden on his debut this evening. And it's one of those tracks, isn't it, Trem, that a lot of people just... Some people like this track, some people really, really don't get on with this one, do they? And you think it's not the most technical, it's not the hardest, it's not the most demanding. But some people really can't get to grips with it, can they?
Yeah, there's a few tracks like that. I mean, I can't... I mean, I really like Zandvoort. People don't seem to like Zandvoort. I absolutely love France, and people hate France.
Oh, I like France, yeah, I think that's good fun, yeah.
Most people's favourites are like the flowing ones like Brazil and Austria and Silverstone, Spain.
Yeah, I think people like the ones that got the higher top speeds, and I prefer the racing at technical tracks. Tracks a little bit like this where you've got to look after tyres, and yes, there's some long straights in it, granted, but your tracks like Imola, where you've got to think about what you're doing, you know,
and Portimao.
Oh, that's a beauty. I love that track. It's
so good when you can hook a lap up.
It is, isn't it? And it's just one of those that rewards you as well when you can. It makes you think. It really makes you focus on what you're doing. And it's just, it's just the nicer tracks. Like you said, you know, Zandvoort, I used to despise that track, but I actually don't mind it now. I've grown to like it. I think just setup is key, but you know, the first time I ever did Jeddah, I absolutely hated Jeddah, and I've actually come to quite like Jeddah now.
Which one's Jeddah now?
The fast night race. We did it early in the season, a couple of races ago.
Oh yeah. Is it all Qatar? I hated that one, and I absolutely love that one now. It's so quick.
I don't mind it. Yeah, that's quite good fun because it is one of those fast tracks, but it's got corners basically. I think Austria, I'm not a fan of it because it's boring. You've got 3 long straights, a little bit of a wiggly bit in the middle, and that's it. Then you're done.
I mean, my worst track's Canada because it's just chicanes.
I like that. I actually quite like Canada. I've got quite of a sort of affinity with it in MRC, where I took my first ever win in season 3, 4, something like that, maybe my first ever win, and then I won the title this season in Canada with a win, so I kind of quite like it, really.
Yeah, I've only ever had one league race win, and that was when I had my own league SLR, and it was China in the wet.
China, that's another one. They ruined it last game. It was extremely bumpy. But somehow I managed to win that in the head. Well, the second last corner of the final lap, I managed to overtake and win. But I loved it that time. And they've smoothed it out quite a bit and changed a few of the curbs, and I'm not as much of a fan as I used to be of it. Oh, Blood Diamond. Oh, got very, very squirrely. We're looking at this battle at the top end, and Liquid Gas, he closed it to less than 2. He's just pulled out a little bit again. But Blood Diamond's still there, keeping him honest. Hybrid hasn't gone away. It looked like he was dropping off the back of GTR, but he hasn't this time. He's closed that gap again. But they're dropping off the back of the top 3. Grimo hasn't quite closed. He might have had another moment. He's gone off a little bit. So Mike is flying. Mike's the one that's sort of closing on Grimo at this moment in time. Grimo's pace seems to just have dropped off than it was in the early stages. I wonder if he's got a bit of extra damage that is just tampering him, is Grimo.
I can't see any. He might have a slight wing damage, you know, when it's like yellowy orange.
Yeah, but or just a bit of wing damage that doesn't show on anything, but the car doesn't feel right.
I mean, he's got plenty of battery left if he wants to dump that.
I think at this point he's probably doing the right thing. Well, not really. I think he's in a position where he doesn't need to use it, and maybe just trying to keep where he is. What have you seen?
I thought Hybrid was going to send it into the corner there, but he just lost the back end coming out the corner, and it's cost him a little bit. But he's right on the back of GTR.
Yeah, was he going to try and make a move under brakes into the chicane? He's sort of thinking about it. That was a horrible camera angle.
That was very timid, weren't it, for an overtake attempt?
Yeah, it was like he was there, but not quite there, and didn't want to give GTR the DRS in response. But has he going to try around the outside? There was a half... I don't know. There was a bit of 2 or 3 movements from both of them there. And I think Hybrid had to just hold off. But yeah, that was a bit of a strange one, that one.
Yeah, I noticed a couple of... I wouldn't say weave in the brake zone, but a couple of double movements in the brake zones earlier on.
Yeah, got to be careful about that.
It's not something the game can't really give penalties for it, can it? But
no,
it's something you'd have to bring up with a steward and cross your fingers.
Yeah, we've got a good, strong team of stewards in MRC. Obviously, we've got 4 tiers plus 2 multi-tier championships as well in that. Well, so 5 races a week we have, and a good team of stewards, and we do have footage recorded. We do have steward in every single night for each tier, and yeah, it's something we've got. We've got our own. We've drafted a good, very, very good, very comprehensive rule book, and things like that are covered. A lot of it actually follows F1 in terms of the rules. And I tell you what, we said Mike was about 2 seconds back off Grimmo, but he's got the fresher tyres on, and wow, he has just blitzed through the Aston Martin. So Grimmo's potentially at risk of, by the end of this, potentially dropping to maybe 9th or definitely 8th, because he was flying. Hybrid's gone again round the outside. The gaps at the front 3 have come down slightly between Nico Gas and Thomas, and Blood Diamond just dropped off the back.
I'm thinking, I can't see why Grimmo would be struggling so much.
Yeah, there must be something. Maybe he just doesn't get on with the tyres. You know, sometimes the setup works on some and not on others. It could just be to do with that by the end of it. Blood Diamond started to really drop off the back of Jack, whereas Jack is closing a little bit more on Thomas. But there was the back marker of Borden, and Thomas actually got the DRS
from it. Yeah, I've seen that. And he's dumping his battery as well to help.
Yeah, but Borden does move out the way for Jack this time, and probably not where Jack wanted him to do it either. Just Jack may have wanted the helping hand, but I wonder how that's going to play out. We'll keep our eye on it, because the battle for 4th is still very much ongoing. Battle for 6th as well. Dom has got a penalty, so he may struggle to make any headway on that.
Oh, Grimmo's gone off. It's gone straight on. 10-second penalty.
Oh no, that's horrible. Yeah, that one does through there. It's very. There are some corners I've noticed that do. Even if you slow down, turn 1 in Monza, I got one, and I was so slow it was outrageous. And I came back on in first gear. I was that slow, and it still gave me a 10-second penalty. Don't know how. And I lost places. And then there's. I think it's Imola, the Variante to the top of the chicane as well. That one as well can really hurt. What happened to Hybrid? Has he had it coming together with GTR? Has he got damage? He is missing an end plate. 2 laps to go. He's had some kind of collision potentially. Because of Grimmo as well, he's got the 10 seconds, but Dom's now all up the back of him, so that's not over by a long shot with 2 laps to go. Liquid Gas half a second outside of the DRS. Are going to have to really push on and see what he can do to take the win from the V-Carb. But I'd imagine it's going to be a double podium once again for those boys, with Liquid Gas joining them. It's starting into the Hamilton, is it Verstappen Bottas? sort of
Yeah,
one of the
it's
biggest podiums. Wasn't Vettel, or was with Hamilton, Vettel, and someone else as well? One of the how many times have people on a podium together?
it's hard to try and split them, isn't it?
Yeah, look at Grimos trying the move. He got round, got the switchback, and got the DRS on hybrid. Gets the move done. Wow, Dom had to really move. I think he got the overspeed and caught himself out a little bit. But Grimmo through. I'm sure he'll be appealing the 10 seconds afterwards, or just trying to push on. Because at the minute he will finish in the points, it will be, well, potentially 10th, but we'll see what's happening with Vexman and Hunter squabbling as well in the outer reaches as we are in the final lap. The top three are through, and I tell you what, this could be the same thing as happening again that we saw in the last lap. We've got Chef going into turn 5, and we've got Thomas not too far behind. It'll be interesting to see if he's close enough to get the DRS. There was the line. He's not. But will he get it the second time? That's going to be the interesting one. Jack's not close enough to get it either. This could be the main opportunity. But traction zones are a huge, huge thing, aren't they, Mount here? And especially with the wear on the tyres now. This... yeah, I don't think it's all over yet. Anything can happen. I think Thomas, though, he's been in control, has he? Since he took the lead from his teammate early on, he's just done what he's done most races this season.
Yeah, Blood Diamond, I think, has done brilliantly. Seen to it, he couldn't pit on the safety car because Thomas pitted. Literally went, did go all the way to the back of the grid, and he's battled all his way back up to third.
Yeah, and was in second for a good strong time as well, wasn't he? And
yeah,
kept
and he helped
Jack
Thomas
honest.
out.
Yeah, he has, hasn't he? Really played the team game. But it is Thomas, the championship leader, who takes the win once again. Liquid Gas is in second. Must have got 3 seconds right at the death as well, because that gap's opened up to 4. And just about with that penalty, keeps ahead of Blood Diamond. That could have been really tragic for Jack. GTR has got a penalty, but he is going to cross his line in 4th on his debut, so a great race from him. Mike is going to be across the line in 5th. Grimmo ahead of this trio. That's going to sort itself out in terms of penalties. Let's just wait for the next couple to go across the line. There it is. So it's Hybrid
Grimmo
player.
10th.
Yeah, with that 10-second penalty. Thought he might just have got there. So it's Hybrid in 6th. The other Red Bull of Dom in 7th. Vexman in 8th. Hunter. Difficult night for him in 9th. He had a good race though. The alternate strategy did well early on and then had to drop back a little bit. Grimmo really unlucky. Frustrating race for him. The Chef is a lap down. No, he's not quite. So he's on his final lap. And he'll finish out the points, and Borden a lap down on his debut in 12th. And Monster really unlucky with his DNF. Got tangled up and kind of bullied into a wall from what we hear, but it is down to the stewards. They are the ones that are going to make the decisions this evening.
And for the second race running, it was a McLaren.
Oh, well, yeah, you said it was, yeah. Yeah. You guys just don't like them, do you? No, not yours this time.
Well, I was in the Ferrari last season, then I jumped to McLaren, so go Chef.
Yeah. Driver of the day from Mike. He's not going to get it from me just because of his character pose. That's just, no, you just don't do that. He looks like King Kong doing that.
No, definitely Blood Diamond for me.
I'm going to have to, I think, agree with you on that one. I think, yeah, he started there as well and led early on, but yeah, after that pit stop at the back, had to fight his way through, and yeah, to battle Jack, have second for a time and finish third. I think I've got to give it to Blood Diamond as well. I think you're right, mate. With that, we've seen the podium celebrations a little bit. Let's go and look at the preliminary results before stewarding. Thomas is taking the top step once again. Liquid Gas in second once again, with Blood Diamond, our driver of the day, in third. GTR on his debut in 4th, so a good mention to him. Mike in 5th, Hybrid in 6th, then Don Walsh in 7th, Vexman in 8th, Hunter, good race, he's got the fastest lap as well, and the extra point in 9th. Grimmo, tough race from him, he is in 10th. Then we've got the Chef, Borden and Monster. It was quite a. There was a lot of good racing in that, wasn't there? There's a lot of clean overtakes, a lot of calculated overtakes as well.
Yeah, there was some overtakes in places you wouldn't expect it, and some good clean battling as well.
Yeah, there was, wasn't there? There was a few sort of a little bit, which you're going to get in wheel-to-wheel racing sometimes, and you get it. But yeah, it was quite a nice race. And thank you for joining. I'm glad we've sort of worked out now. Next time you do join, that we're able to know what the settings were.
Well, I've just looked at what the next race is and nearly threw up in my mouth.
Right, so where are we next week?
Canada.
Right, I'm actually away next week, so I will not be able to stream next week either.
Oh, there's an excuse for me not to race.
What, you're going to stream it? Is that what it is?
Yeah, I might do, yeah.
Oh, well, fair enough. Then you got away with that. Yeah, next week I've got prior engagement, unfortunately, so yeah, I won't be here. That is me for 2 weeks, folks. But you just heard it here first. Trem will be here bringing you all the action from what could be another rainy race there in Canada. And when it doesn't just intermediates there, it is a monsoon.
Yeah, it hammers down.
It does. Thank you for joining me, buddy. Been a pleasure.
No problem.
Again, thank you all for watching, and we look forward to seeing you very, very soon. Have a good evening and good night.